Welcome to the sideboard one last time here from Indianapolis. I'm Nick Miller alongside our Standard Open champion, Brian DeMars. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Handshake comes with a little bit of hardware. Your first Open top 8. You've been playing these for a while, but you made it here, and you made pretty quick work of it.
Yeah, I mean, the deck was awesome. Red deck with Berserk and Bloodlust.
Yeah, who knew that Berserk would be pretty good in Standard?
Yeah.
Now, there's an interesting story here, because I was talking to your buddy who you came down here with, John Johnson, and he told me you guys had this sweet brew, and it had Siege Rhinos and all these other cards, and I see you playing round 1, and it's a red deck. So talk about the Audible, how you put the deck together, and obviously it feels pretty good.
Yeah, so I did quite a bit of preparation for this event, and the deck that I was planning on playing was a 4-color, it was like Bant and Abzan, and it was like a Morphs deck. It had like Stratus Dancers and Den Protectors. It was like all the card advantage, a bunch of Planeswalkers, and it was pretty sweet. I played against like Abzan decks, I was beating them, I was beating the Dragons decks, I was beating like the red decks, and then I have to give credit for this Bloodlust Berserk deck to Devin Painter, one of the RIW guys. And actually the RIW guys were a huge part of this testing, because they really did a great job putting together a gauntlet and stuff. But Devin was the last person I played against. I played against him at like 11 o'clock on Thursday night. And I was doing good. I felt really good about my deck. He's like, you should play against my deck. My deck's great. And he slaughtered me. And then we went post sideboard, and I was like, well, I'll have my clerics. And he slaughtered me again. And I was like, okay, I'm switching decks. This deck is completely insane.
Did he have it all tooled together, the package that you ended up playing?
It was very similar. The biggest difference was he had like 3 Windswept Heaths, and I cut like some spells to add to cut the third Windswept Heath so that I could just add like 3 mountains. So I played 21 lands and he played 19, and I just had 3 more mountains and 1 less Windswept Heath. So I thought the mana was like a little bit shaky. So it's the Kyle Bogamus theory of you take a deck that's great and you add a land to it.
Can't argue with the results. Now, this is an interesting take on the Atarka Red shell, because from the last season we saw this deck, it was always going wide with a bunch of goblins, Hordeling Outburst, a lot more 1-drops, that kind of thing, more Burn of Curse, of course. But this deck, this is a whole new animal. You're killing people out of nowhere with Become Immense, Temur Battle Rage. No one was ready for that.
Yeah. I don't consider this to be like a burn deck. I don't consider it to be like a red beatdown deck. Like, I think it's like a combo deck.
Sure.
I mean, you have 2 combos. You have this like make tokens Atarka's command, and a pump spells prowess plus I keep calling it Berserk, Temur Battle Rage.
It's fine.
So
it's Berserk.
But these things just deal a ton of damage. Like you're paying like 2 mana to deal like 10 damage, 14 damage. I got someone in a feature match for 18. Like, just a ton of damage.
That's not a bad shell. And of course we got some new cards in there. You had the McKindy Slide Runner.
The Salamander, yeah.
Yeah, the little
Salamander.
Landfall action there with your Atarka's command. You get some blowouts there.
The Salamander was not great. I drew it a couple of times. It was embarrassing more than once, but it was also insane a couple times too. So,
sure. Got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, there was like the one time I got to like just Become Immense, trample it, and just go straight through. So,
all right. Well,
trample's at a premium. There's only the 4 cards that give you trample, so for the 1 more is not bad.
Well, you had a tough tournament. You had to play Jerry. You had to play Todd.
I had to play Jerry twice.
And then you had to play Majors in the finals there. What do you think this deck has for it going forward, and any tinkers or anything you'd like to do to it?
I didn't like Lightning Berserker. I boarded it out almost every single post-sideboard game. I just didn't think it was like very good. You had to like work to make it good. So I didn't really like Lightning Berserker. I would have rather have just had like 2 Hanger Backwalkers in the main deck or something.
Who knew? Hanger Backwalker, pretty good.
Yeah, and I had sort of a transformational sideboard where I could board in like Hanger Backs and Thunderbreak Regents, and actually, you know what? I would like the Thunderbreak Regents in the main deck. They were great. Yeah,
the Regent looked great against Jerry when you got him low. There's no real way to answer that card.
Yeah, it was. I sealed game 3 against Jerry with the Thunderbreak, and I sealed game 3 against I think his name Adam, right? Adam, yes, with the Thunderbreak as well. Yeah. So that card was just a great finisher. And people, they have their Radiant Flames and their shocks and stuff, and you like play that guy, and they're like, oh, I boarded out all my Valorous Stances. Oh, I boarded out my Abzan Charms. You just have this huge flyer in the air that just chunks away at them. And it's not a bad thing to Berserk either.
I think they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, you put on a hell of a show this weekend. Kicked off the new standard format with basically a aggro combo deck. So you've set the meta. Congratulations. I'm going to send it back over to Patrick and Cedric one last time here in Indianapolis.